Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Blog Podcast. Today's Friday, March 8th, 2019. Today I'm going to recap all of the conference tournament games and the regular season college basketball games that are still going on. NBA, NHL, look ahead to today's slate. Discuss a little spring training as well. And I'll have my best bet of the day for you. And then an NFL trade that happened today that I want to get into, and an NFL trade that didn't happen today that I want to get into. College basketball. Yesterday, Radford defeats Presbyterian 84-76 to move on to the Big South semifinal. Radford's 21-10, Presbyterian 18-15. Ed Polite Jr. had 21 for Radford, and Adam Flagger had 20 for Presbyterian. Charleston Southern upsets Winthrop 77-63. As Charleston Southern goes to 17-14, Winthrop finishes at 18-12. Christian Keeling had 25 points, and Bjorn Broman had 18. St. Peter's defeats Marist 71-68 in overtime to advance to the quarterfinal in the Metro Atlantic tournament. St. Peter's 10-21. Marist finishes at 12-19. Devontae Turner had 18 for St. Peter's, and Brian Parker had 22 for Marist. Campbell defeats Hampton 86-77 in the quarterfinal to advance. Campbell's 20-11, Hampton 15-16. Chris Clemens had 24 for Campbell, and Jermaine Morrow had 22 for Hampton. Number 25 UCF defeats number 20 Cincinnati 58-55. UCF 23-6, Cincinnati 25-5. Number 21 Wisconsin defeats Iowa 65-45. Wisconsin 21-9, Iowa 21-9. Lehigh defeats Army 75-70. Lehigh advances to the semifinal. They're 20-10. Army drops to 13-19. Jordan Cohen had 18 for Lehigh, and Tommy Funk had 22 for Army. Navy defeats American 60-56, so that's an upset as Navy goes to the semis. They're 12-18, and American finishes at 15-15. Evan Week had 18 for Navy, and Saeed Nelson had 29 for American. Bucknell defeats Holy Cross 77-65. As Bucknell advances, they're 20-11. Holy Cross 16-17. Colgate defeats Boston University 81-69 as Colgate advances to the semifinal. They are 22-10. BU finishes at 15-18. Will Ryman had 26 for Colgate, and Javante McCoy had 20 for Boston University. Temple defeats UConn 78-71. Temple 22-8, UConn 14-16. Coastal Carolina defeats South Alabama 92-70. Coastal Carolina 15-14. South Alabama 14-16. Appalachian State defeats Troy 72-64. Appalachian 11-19. Troy 11-18. Liberty defeats North Florida 71-63. Liberty 27-6. North Florida finishes at 16-17. Scotty James had 24 for Liberty, and Garrett Sams had 22 for North Florida. Valparaiso upsets Indiana State in the Missouri Valley first round, 77-55. Valpo, 15-17. Indiana State finishes at 15-16. Marcus Golder at 18 for Valpo, and Tyreek Key at 20 for Indiana State. Austin Peay defeats Morehead State 95-81 in the OVC quarterfinal. Austin Peay 22-10. Morehead finishes at 13-20. Terry Taylor had 28 for Austin Peay, and Jordan Walker had 22 for Morehead. Florida A&M defeats Bethune-Cookman 64-56. Florida A&M 12-19. Bethune-Cookman 14-16. Louisiana defeats Little Rock 77-72. Louisiana 18-12. Little Rock 10-20. Manhattan defeats Fairfield 57-53 in the Metro Atlantic first round. Manhattan 11-20. Fairfield finishes at 9-22. Christian Hickinson had 16 for Manhattan, and Neftali Alvarez had 18 for Fairfield. Savannah State defeats SC State 90-87. Savannah State 11-19. South Carolina State 7-25. Jamari Ateni had 26 for South Carolina State, and Jaquan Dotson had 25 for Savannah State. North Carolina A&T defeats North Carolina Central 74-52. A&T 18-12. North Carolina Central 15-15. Howard defeats Norfolk State 98-95. Howard 16-15. Norfolk 19-12. Maryland Eastern defeats Delaware State 70-64. UMass 7-24. Delaware State 5-24. Arkansas State defeats UL Monroe 73-72. Arkansas State 13-17. UL Monroe 15-14. Indiana defeats Illinois 92-74. Indiana 16-14. Illinois 11-19. Cal Baptist defeats Texas Rio Grande 82-79 in overtime. Cal Baptist 16-13. Rio Grande 18-15. Lipscomb defeats NJIT 78-55. Lipscomb 25-6, NJIT 21-12. Garrison Matthews had 22 for Lipscomb and DeAndre Wilson had 13 for NJIT as Lipscomb advances to take on Liberty in the ASUN final. Gardner Webb defeats High Point 75-69 as Gardner Webb advances. They're 21-11. High Point 16-15. David Effiani had 25 for Weber and Jihad Proctor had 25 for High Point. Coppin State defeats Morgan State 83-69. Coppin 7-24. Morgan 9-20. Grambling defeats Alabama State 93-66. Grambling 15-15. Alabama State 11-17. Jackson State defeats Alabama A&M 66-47. Jackson State 12-18. Bama A&M 5-26. Northern Colorado defeats Southern Utah 70-53. Northern Colorado 21-9. Southern Utah 14-15. Prairie View defeats Southern 73-55. Prairie View 18-12, Southern 6-24. Number 12 Houston defeats SMU 90-79. Houston 28-2, SMU 13-16. Texas Southern defeats Alcorn State 99-72. Texas Southern 19-11. Alcorn State 10-19. Weber State defeats Idaho 93-59. Weber 17-13. Idaho 5-25. Colorado defeats UCLA 93-68. Colorado 18-11, UCLA 16-14. Utah Valley defeats Grand Canyon 82-70. Utah Valley 22-8, Grand Canyon 18-11. Pepperdine defeats Pacific 61-53 in the West Coast first round. Pepperdine 14-17. Pacific finishes at 14-18. Darrell Polk Jr. had 15 for Pepperdine and Jeremiah Bailey had 22 for Pacific. Monmouth defeats Niagara 76-72 to advance to the quarterfinal. Monmouth 12-20, Niagara 13-19. Ray Salnave had 20 for Monmouth, and Rasheem Solomon had 24 for Niagara. Idaho State drops to Eastern Washington at home, 91-62. Eastern Washington 13-17, Idaho State 10-18. Jacksonville State defeats Tennessee Martin 88-81 as Jacksonville State advances to the semifinal. They're 24-8. Tennessee Martin finishes at 12-19. Dietrich Mostella had 21 for Jacksonville State, and Quentin Dove had 35 for Tennessee Martin. Illinois State defeats Evansville 65-60 to advance to the quarterfinal of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. They're 17-15. Evansville finishes at 11-21. Malik Yarbrough had 18 for Illinois State, and Marty Hill had 16 for Evansville. UC Irvine defeats Cal Poly 110-72. Irvine 26-5, Cal Poly 6-22. UC Santa Barbara defeats Cal State Northridge 76-74. Santa Barbara 29, Cal State Northridge 13-18. Seattle defeats Cal State Bakersfield 63-57 in overtime. Seattle 17-13. Bakersfield 16-13. Utah defeats USC 83-74. Utah 16-13. USC 15-15. Hawaii defeats UC Davis 76-69. Hawaii 17-12. UC Davis 11-18. Portland State defeats Montana 81-69. Portland State 15-15. Montana 22-8. Sacramento State defeats Montana State 70-67. Sacramento State 14-14. Montana State 14-15. Cal upsets Stanford 64-59. That's 2 in a row for Cal. 8-22. Stanford 15-15. And San Diego defeats Portland 67-47 to advance to the second round of the WCC tournament. San Diego 19-13. Portland finishes their dismal season at 7-25. Isaiah Pinheiro had 16 for San Diego and JoJo Walker had 13 for Portland. Underway right now, MVC quarterfinal, Valpo and Loyola Chicago. I'm taking Loyola Chicago to win that game. They are the way better team. They are an 8-point favorite. They're going to cover that easily. I think that line should have been 10 because I just think they're way better than Valparaiso. 3:30, Bradley, Missouri State. Missouri State is laying 2.5 points. I'm going to take Bradley as a 2.5-point underdog here to win outright. 4 o'clock ESPNU, Brown at Princeton last weekend of Ivy League play. Princeton's laying 3.5. I think they'll win and cover. SoCon first round, 5 o'clock. Western Carolina and VMI. It's a pick 'em. I'm taking VMI here. They're the better team. 6 o'clock ESPNU, Bowling Green at number 19, Buffalo. Buffalo's laying 14. That's a lot of points. I'm taking Bowling Green to cover, but Buffalo to win. Big South semifinal, Charleston Southern at Radford. Radford's laying 3. I think that line is low. I'm taking Radford to win and cover. Akron at Kent State at 6:30. Miami at number 15, Virginia Tech. That's a rare Friday night ACC game. Virginia Tech's laying 9.5. I think they'll win and cover. They'll bounce back from what was a lost opportunity against Florida State. Fox Sports 1, Minnesota at number 24, Maryland. Maryland is laying 7. I'm going to take Maryland to win, but Minnesota to cover. Northern Illinois at Ball State, Miami of Ohio at Ohio, Eastern Michigan at Toledo, Central Michigan at Western Michigan, Yale at Penn, Dartmouth at Columbia, Harvard at Cornell, Missouri Valley quarterfinal, Illinois State at Drake, it's a neutral. Drake's laying 2.5. In my tournament predictions podcast, this was my projected matchup, and I said that Illinois State beat Drake twice. I'm surprised this number's that low. I think Drake should be favored by at least 5 points, maybe even 6. I'm taking Drake to win and cover. That is a steal right there. St. Peter's at Iona in the Metro Atlantic quarterfinal. Iona's laying 7.5. They're better than St. Peter's. I'm going to take them to win and cover. The Citadel against Stanford in the SoCon first round. Stanford's laying 4. I think they'll win and cover. There's going to be a lot of points in that game. That's at 7:30. 8 o'clock, Big South semifinal. Gardner-Webb against Campbell. The Camels are laying 3.5. I'm going to take them to win and cover, led by Chris Clemens. ESPNU, OVC semifinal, Austin Peay against Belmont. Belmont's laying 7.5. I'm going to take Belmont to win, but Austin Peay to cover. Pepperdine against Loyola Marymount in the West Coast second round. Marymount's laying 4.5. I think they'll win and cover. St. Joe's against VCU on ESPN2. VCU's laying 11.5. They'll win and cover. Metro Atlantic quarterfinal, Manhattan against Canisius. Canisius is laying 4.5. They'll win and cover. Northern Iowa against Southern Illinois in the Missouri Valley quarterfinal. Southern Illinois is laying 3.5. I'm going to take them to win and cover. Jacksonville State against Murray State. That's a phenomenal game. 10 o'clock ESPNU. Murray State's laying 5.5. I'm going to take the underdog to cover here, too, with Jacksonville State, but I do think Murray will win, led by John Morant. And then San Diego, Santa Clara. San Diego is a 6-point favorite against Santa Clara. What in the world is Vegas thinking? That's a 7-6 matchup, and your 7 seed is that big of a favorite. Santa Clara is winning this game outright, I think, and getting 6 is a steal. I'd be shocked if this game isn't close, but I do think Santa Clara will win the game outright. NBA. Only 2 games last night. Both of them were on TNT. The Bucks defeat the Pacers 117-98. This game was close until the second half. Milwaukee 49-16, Indiana 42-24. Giannis Antetokounmpo continues his MVP case, 29 points, 12 boards. Chris Middleton had 27, Brook Lopez had 13, Eric Bledsoe had 12. Their bench didn't even do anything, and they still won. Miles Turner had 22 and 17 for Indiana. Wes Matthews had 10, as well as Thaddeus Young. Bojan Bogdanovic had 17 for the Pacers, and off the bench, Kyle O'Quinn had 11. The Thunder defeat the Trailblazers 129-121 in overtime. This was a great game. OKC 40-25, Portland 39-26. So OKC is now your 3 seed. Russell Westbrook 37 points and 7 boards. Steven Adams had 12. Paul George had 32 with 14 boards and 6 assists. They looked like the Thunder team that we were accustomed to seeing before George got hurt. Jeremy Grant had 14. And off the bench, Dennis Schroeder had 14. Meanwhile, for Portland, Damian Lillard had 51 points and 9 assists. CJ McCollum had 25. Joseph Nurkic had 13 with 17 boards. And off the bench, Rodney Hood had 10. Tonight's slate is big. 7 o'clock, the Wizards at the Hornets, the Mavericks at the Magic. 8 o'clock, the Cavaliers at the Heat, the Pistons at the Bulls. ESPN, the 76ers at the Rockets. Houston's laying 8.5. It looks like Joel Embiid will miss yet again. I'm going to take the Rockets to win and cover because I don't think Embiid's playing for Philly, and I think James Harden's going to go crazy. Jazz at the Grizzlies, Raptors at the Pelicans, 10:30, the Thunder at the Clippers, and on ESPN, the Nuggets at the Warriors. Golden State's laying 6.5. I think it's going to be an entertaining game. The Nuggets are going to be ready. This is their biggest game of the season. They have to at least be competitive. If they were to win this game, these two teams would be tied among the top of the West. This is a must-win for Denver by all accounts. But I don't think they're going to get it done. They'll at least cover the 6.5, but I think Golden State wins a 4-point game at home, courtesy of Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant. NHL. Yesterday was a pretty big slate. The Bruins defeat the Panthers 4-3. That was a big win for Boston. They are 41-17-9. Florida 28-27-12. Number 1 star of the game with 2 goals, Patrice Bergeron. Number 2 star of the game with 2 goals and an assist, Jonathan Huberdeau. Number 3 star of the game with the goal, David Krejci. The Penguins defeat the Blue Jackets 3-0. This game was on NBCSN. A big win for Pittsburgh, as I predicted. They separated themselves from Columbus in the Eastern Conference playoff picture. They're 36-22-9. Columbus is 37-27-3. Number 1 star of the game with the goal, Phil Kessel. Number 2 star of the game with 25 saves on 25 shots, Matt Murray. Number 3 star of the game with the goal, Nick Bustad. The Islanders defeat the Senators 4-2. The Islanders with a big win, 39-21-7. Ottawa 23-39-6. Number 1 star of the game with 2 goals, Valtteri Filippa. Number 2 star of the game with the goal, Brady Tkachuk. Number 3 star of the game with 35 saves on 37 shots, Thomas Greiss. The Red Wings defeat the Rangers 3-2 in a shootout. A fitting win for Detroit. They honored Ted Lindsay in the game. The late Ted Lindsay. Sad news the other day of his passing. Detroit 24-33-10 on the year. Rangers 27-28-12. Number 1 star of the game with the goal and an assist, Andreas Athanasiotou. Number 2 star of the game with 2 goals, Pavel Buchnevich. Number 3 star of the game with the goal, Tyler Bertuzzi. The Wild defeat the Lightning 3-0. This was an NBCSN game. Or no, it wasn't. My bad. The NBCS game was Pittsburgh. Minnesota's 33-27-8. Tampa Bay with the shocking home loss, 51-13-4. Number 1 star of the game with the hat trick, Jason Zucker. Number 2 star of the game with 25 saves on 25 shots, Devin Dubnyk. Number 3 star of the game with 2 assists, Ryan Donato. The Blackhawks defeat the Sabres 5-4 in a shootout. Chicago on the year is 28-30-9. Buffalo 30-28-9. Number 1 star of the game with 2 goals, Artemi Anisimov. Number 2 star of the game with a goal and assist, Zach Bogosian. Number 3 star of the game with 2 assists, Patrick Kane. The Stars defeat the Avalanche 4-0. Dallas on the year now with a big win is 35-27-5. Colorado 29-27-12. Number 1 star of the game with 3 goals, Alexander Radulov. Number 2 star of the game with 31 saves on 31 shots, Ben Bishop. So back-to-back shutouts for him. And the number 3 star of the game didn't record a point, but just had a solid game, Issa Lindell. The Oilers defeat the Canucks 3-2. Edmonton on the year now is 30-30-7. Vancouver 28-31-9. Number 1 star of the game with 2 assists, Connor McDavid. Number 2 star of the game with a goal, Zach Kazin. And number 3 star of the game with 2 assists, Brock Boeser. The Coyotes defeat the Flames 2-0. A big win for Arizona to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're 33-29-5. Calgary 41-20-7. Number 1 star of the game with 30 saves on 30 shots. Darcy Kemper, number 2 star of the game with the goal. Clayton Keller, number 3 star of the game with the goal and an assist. Jacob Chitrin. The Blues defeat the Kings 4-0. The Blues on the year 36-25-6. LA 24-35-8. Number 1 star of the game with 2 goals, Brendan Chen. Number 2 star of the game with 28 saves on 28 shots, Jake Allen. Number 3 star of the game didn't record a point, but just had a good game, Alex Pietrangelo. The Sharks defeat the Canadiens 5-2. A big win for San Jose and a brutal loss for Montreal. San Jose 40-19-8. Montreal 36-25-7. Number 1 star of the game with the goal and an assist, Marcus Sorensen. Number 2 star of the game with 2 assists, Kevin LeBlanc. And the number 3 star of the game with the goal, Joe Thornton. 4 games tonight on the slate for hockey. 7 o'clock, the Wild at the Panthers, the Devils at the Capitals. 7:30, the Jets at the Hurricanes. And 10 o'clock, the Canadiens at the Ducks. So, one game on the slate where it's meaningful for both teams, and that is obviously the 7:30 Jets-Hurricanes game from Raleigh. Spring training. Just going to go through the results and what notable players did. The Yankees over the Phillies, 6-0. James Paxton now 2-0 on the spring. Highly touted prospect Estevan Florial hit a 3-run homer in this game for the Yanks. Paxton 3 in the 3rd innings, 3 hits and 5 strikeouts. Twins over the Red Sox, 12-1. This game was on ESPN. Cole Stewart with the win. Brian Johnson with the loss. The only thing a Red Sox player did of note was an RBI double by Rafael Devers in the bottom of the 1st inning. Cole Stewart, 2 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Brian Johnson, an inning and a third, 5 hits, 3 runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Pirates over the Orioles, 5-4. Mike Wright Jr. pitched for Baltimore, 3 innings, a hit, no earned runs, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. Jordan Lyles of Pittsburgh, 4 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Astros over the Marlins, 4-1. Justin Verlander with the win, Jose Urena with the loss. Verlander 3 in the 3rd innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. Jose Urena 2 and 2/3 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Nationals over the Mets 6-2. Kyle Barklow gets the win, and Steven Strasburg starts for Washington. 4 innings, a hit, no earned runs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Jacob deGrom 3 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, so he hasn't had the best start to spring training. Adam Eaton also homered in this game, and Tim Tebow hit an RBI single for the Mets. Blue Jays over the Rays 11-2. Clayton Richard gets the win. Tyler Glasnow gets the loss. Glasnow was off to a horrendous start in spring training. Kevin Pillar homered for Toronto. Glasnow 2 in the 3rd innings, a hit, an earned run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Clayton Richard 2 in 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Phillies over the Tigers 3-1, so the Phillies had a split squad and got the win here. Jordan Zimmerman pitched for Detroit, 4 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, no walks, 6 strikeouts. Royals over the Angels 8-7. Jaime Barrios started for the Angels, 3 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Brad Keller, 3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. White Sox over the Brewers 9-5. Manny Pena homered for Milwaukee. Zach Davies started 4 innings, 4 hits, an earned run, a walk, 2 strikeouts. Meanwhile for Chicago, Carlos Rodon, 4 innings, a hit, no earned runs, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Rockies over the Cubs 7-5. Antonio Sensatala gets the win. John Lester with the loss. Lester 3 in 2/3 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts. Sensatala 3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks, and a strikeout. And David Dahl homered for Colorado as well. Indians over the Diamondbacks 4-3. Trevor Bauer 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Zach Greinke 2 innings, a hit, no earned runs, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. Padres over the Rangers 11-8. A lot of notable things happened in this game. Manny Machado hit an RBI double. Ian Kinsler homered. RBI single by Eric Hosmer. Francisco Mejia 3-run home run. Hunter Pence homered for Texas. Danny Santana homered for the Rangers. Mike Minor started 3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Dodgers over the Angels 6-2, so the Angels had a split squad. Pedro Baez gets the win for the Dodgers. Ross Stripling started 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Mariners over the Reds 11-3. With the win, now 2-1 on the spring, Yusei Kiyuki. 4 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Luis Castillo, 2 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. And Derek Dietrich homered for Cincinnati. Athletics over the Giants 5-1. Frankie Montas with the win, Madison Bumgarner with the loss. Ramon Laureano hit an RBI double in the top of the second off of Bumgarner. RBI single, Jurickson Profar. Joe Panik hit an RBI single. Matt Chapman homered. Nick Hundley tripled. Marcus Semien homered. Montas 4 innings, 5 hits, an earned run, no walks, 4 strikeouts. He's off to a good start this spring. Madison Bumgarner is not. 3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. Some NFL news before I go. The New York Giants trade pass rusher Olivier Vernon to the Cleveland Browns for guard Kevin Zeitler. I think this is a win-win trade for both teams. Browns get a veteran pass rusher to go with Myles Garrett. On that defensive line, he's overpaid, but he's still okay. He made the Pro Bowl this past season. And Zeitler has become one of the better guards in the league. The Giants had a hole at right guard, and they filled it. So the Giants improve one area of need, and they open up another one by the vacated spot of Vernon. But they have some young pass rushers that they like on their roster, and plus they have some draft picks to use as well. So I think it's a good trade for both sides. And also, Ian Rappaport reported around 11:30 last night that Antonio Brown was on his way to the Buffalo Bills. But Antonio Brown tweeted fake news. I'm sorry, he wrote that on Instagram. So it is indeed fake news for now, and I'm curious to see if a trade for Brown works out. And speaking of the Steelers, Adam Schefter tweeted about a half hour ago that the Steelers have traded offensive tackle Marcus Gilbert to the Arizona Cardinals for a late 6th round pick. That is a steal for the Arizona Cardinals. They get a starting offensive tackle, and one of their needs this offseason was offensive line, so they addressed that need. Now the Steelers have a hole at offensive line, get a low round pick for Gilbert, which is bad, and I know they just re-signed Ramon Foster, I get that, but now they created another hole in their line with Marcus Gilbert. And then the New York Giants just reported a minute ago re-signed center John Halapio, who had been an exclusive rights free agent. And they'll play Halapio next to the newly acquired right guard Kevin Zeitler. So some NFL trades that happened and didn't happen from last night and today. And now my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. I lost yesterday because there were some teams that did not win outright like I thought they would. There are some underdogs that showed up and shoved it in my face a little bit, which has happened to me quite often. There's some interesting games to choose from that I feel are locks tonight in both the NBA and in college basketball. Might have a lock in the NHL, but we'll see. So we're going to go with Buffalo, Toledo, Virginia Tech. Almost took Maryland, but I don't really trust them that much. Not going to take Belmont. VCU I like. And that's it in terms of college basketball. And on the NBA side, we're going to go with the Houston Rockets. I don't feel good about that one, though. Toronto. And that's 6. I'm going to wager $1, 2-1 odds, pay out $3.03. That's it for the podcast. I'll be back tomorrow recapping college basketball, NBA, NHL spring training. Look ahead to tomorrow's games. I might do my NFL trade value on tomorrow's podcast. We'll see. And obviously, any other news that breaks in the world of sports as well as my best bet. Hope you guys have a great day, everybody.